Welcome to the Elite Podcast Network, home of the #1 independent wrestling coverage, available on iTunes, Stitcher, blogtalk Radio, and wherever you get your podcasts from. Follow us on Twitter at Elite Podcast Net and join the revolution now.
All right. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to Wrestling Heads Radio, live here on the Elite Podcast Network via Blog Talk Radio. Of course, I'm your host for the night. I'm Tom. Tweet me on Twitter. And ladies and gentlemen, we are coming off the heels of a very, very interesting Monday Night RAW. Also tonight, if you weren't catching Raw, if maybe you were expanding your horizons on wrestling a little bit, Beyond Wrestling presenting another one of their Raw alternative streams on their YouTube channel, youtube.com/Beyond Wrestling, spotlighting the UK and Europe indie wrestling scene, highlighted by a big main event from Progress Wrestling featuring Tommaso Ciampa taking on Zack Sabre Jr. I don't know if I'm alone here tonight. Matt Grant, are you here with me?
I'm here. I don't know if Oscar's around. Oscar, are you there? Oscar is MIA by the looks of it. All right.
Well, we'll see if we can sort out the difficulties with Oscar and hearing him. But, yeah, so big shout-out, like I said, to Beyond Wrestling for hosting another one of their Raw alternative streams. Like I said, it was good to see a lot of the UK being spotlighted. Guys like Jimmy Havoc, Mason, Mark Andrews, everybody. Of course, I would say Zack Sabre Jr., but he's killing it here in the United States. So, but Dave Mastiff is great. I want to see Dave Mastiff in North America sometime soon.
Fun fact, Dave Mastiff is a former guest of the show.
Speaking of Mandrews, you got a chance to check him out this weekend before we get into Raw.
Oh, man. Smash Wrestling, he took on Tarek and with one of my favorite matches of the night there, and then he was in a huge six-man tag match the next night at Lucha Toronto, which was fantastic. Also got the chance to interview him once again, catching up from Bola. So that's going to be really cool when we post that. So check out youtube.com/Weekly Wrestling Podcast. Stay tuned for that one. We already posted our interview with Jack Evans and Helico from Smash Wrestling on Saturday. So check that one out.
Yeah, what happened with that? I heard Pentagon and Drago were supposed to be there. Apparently Jack Evans and Helico filled in.
Yeah, it was a big visa issue. It's kind of hard to get into on the air here, but yeah, it was a big thing going on, a lot of bullshit. So, Pentagon and Drago unfortunately unable to make the event. I believe they're in talks to bring them back, but Jack Evans and Helico filling in, and what a fill-in as well. I believe a better fill-in than Pentagon and Drago, as much as I hate to say that.
Definitely. And, of course, Pentagon and Phoenix are going to be making the rounds here in the United States at AAW's Windy City Classic later this month, which we'll get into as we get closer to the date. But,
yeah, Oscar, you there, buddy?
Hey, can you hear me now?
There we go. There's Oscar. Oscar, how you doing, my friend?
Doing good. Now it's like, what, the second time that I'm not doing the switchboard, this happens to me. This happened to me like 2 weeks ago now. It's happening again. What the fuck, Block Talk? Don't want me to talk? What the fuck, man?
I'm telling you, Blog Talk, they try to bury us as much as they can, but they can't keep Wrestling Heads Radio down.
And we pull John Cena and we rise above the hate.
All right. Well, let's just talk something serious right now that broke the news on Thursday. The news broke out that Seth Rollins is going to be out for 6 to 9 months. I know on Wednesday or last week you guys talked about it, that Skid said he doesn't think it was serious, but ended up being really, really serious. So, yeah, he tore his ACL. He's going to be out for a few months. That means he's out at WrestleMania, and he's probably going to end up not returning till the summertime. So, I don't know. Before I give out my thoughts, I want to hear your thoughts first, Tom.
Yeah, it was shocking because, we talked about it on Wednesday, that we thought it was just kind of like a little stinger or something. Sometimes when you're walking, your knee will kind of like give out on you, something kind of like that. But to hear that he tore his MCL, and I think he also tore another ligament in there as well, it was pretty serious. It changes the whole dynamic of WWE. It changes the world title scene. It changes booking plans. It changes the next 6 months, because you have to think that, WWE is starting to prepare their plans for WrestleMania, and now they have to scrap all that and kind of start fresh. So it's probably hectic behind the scenes at the writers' room in WWE right now. But it's going to be really interesting to see kind of what direction they're going to take going into the Rumble, going into WrestleMania. Do Rumble plans change? What's going to happen? So a lot of questions going in. It definitely sucks for Seth Rollins. We talked about it, that the guy is just a workhorse. He's worked, I think, well over 150 matches this year, including live events and televised events. So the guy has been a big workhorse in WWE. He's the main guy in WWE. So this is, it's really significant news.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny that, we just mentioned that, rumors that his WrestleMania rumor matches were like either another triple threat match between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. There was also the talk that he was going to drop the title of Survivor Series anyway to Roman Reigns, and Reigns was going to keep it maybe till WrestleMania. But I agree with you, Tom. A lot of changes is going to happen. I'm sure plans were to now that WrestleMania is going to change. Who knows what's going to happen now? I don't know. Right now in this tournament, it's obvious Roman Reigns is the favorite to win it all right now. But is he going to be the favorite? Is he going to turn? Because you got Seth Rollins out. Who could be your top heel going in the next few months? I don't know. I know Sheamus is not there. Wade Barrett is not that guy. A lot of people will want to say Kevin Owens.
I got 2 words for you.
Is he ready yet?
Dean Ambrose.
Do you turn Ambrose heel when he is more over as a babyface than Roman Reigns?
I'll be dumb if they do that, but
my reasoning for this is Ambrose is a huge babyface, more than, Roman Reigns is a babyface. Yes. You have to have a big reaction as a babyface when you turn heel, so the heel turn actually matters. So you turn the biggest babyface you have around right now heel. That's going to generate a huge reaction, I believe.
Now, what are your whole thoughts when you heard of Seth Rollins' injury and how long he was going to be out for? What was your initial reaction?
I'll tell you right now, as soon as you get out of skits, as soon as I saw that video, I knew he was out. You could tell he buckled his leg really hard. He had a lot of trouble getting up off of it. He had to be carried out. It was super serious right from the get-go. You could tell WWE is really scrambling right now. that bracket they threw together was like half tag team wrestlers, half singles wrestlers. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I don't know. It could have been put together a lot better, in my opinion. You can kind of tell where they're going right from the get-go, and I could probably give you my prediction right from the get-go, but we'll move on with the talk.
Yeah,
You know,
because no, go ahead.
One thing I was going to say, you know, after seeing Seth Rollins getting injured, you know, I knew this beforehand, but now it's becoming more evident of just how thin this roster is as far as top stars is concerned. You know, Cena's out, Orton's out, Seth Rollins is out. Those are your top three guys, excluding Brock Lesnar, who is not out with an injury, but he's not being involved in current WWE programming. So your essentially top four guys are out right now. That is a big blow because they're not building up the other guys because they've been so focused on those other guys for so long that they haven't properly built up somebody where they could say, bam, there's our backup right there. If somebody gets injured, Ambrose, you take the spot, or Cesaro, you take the spot, or, you know, whoever, et cetera, et cetera. It really just shows how thin the roster is and how poorly WWE has executed building up a good amount of new stars to the level to where they can be considered main eventers.
Yeah, you know, I just realized something when I was watching Raw, and then the little segment between Triple H and Roman Reigns, and you know how it started off where, you know, Triple H wants Reigns to join him, but he turned it down. I don't know. It's giving me kind of like flashbacks of 1998 around this time, that The Rock has barely turned babyface. He separates the Nation Domination, and then Survivor Series, they had a tournament, kind of like this one. The Rock wins it, and he got help. You know, he got help from the corporation. He defeated Mankind in the finals. Then he won the WWE Championship, and then he became the corporate champion. Is it possible that, 17 years later, his cousin wins the tournament and he joins the Authority? Is it that possible? I mean, it could probably go that way. Just put that thought.
It's not impossible. That's for sure.
Yeah,
so,
it's definitely not impossible. So let me ask both of you guys this question. Let's say, scenario-wise speaking, that does happen. Roman Reigns wins the tournament, joins the Authority, goes full-on heel. Who challenges him for the title at WrestleMania?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I don't know if these rumors are true or not, but it's been out there this weekend that, you know, John Cena might be facing The Undertaker. Now that's in talk. But if you take those two away, I mean, there is a couple of names out there. There is a Dean Ambrose, possibly, but he has to win the Rumble. Possibly Cesaro. I mean, hopefully I
would be surprised if it was Kevin Owens. I mean, they've really put a lot of stock into the guy. He's the Intercontinental Champion right now. You know, he could drop the belt before the Royal Rumble, win the Rumble. Even, hell, I've seen shit set up where, there's only one belt right now, never mind. Win the Rumble and go on to WrestleMania and face Roman Reigns. It's not out of the possibility.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, I don't know. I kind of doubt that happens, and I don't know if they want to turn babyface right now, but I can see in 2016 he does turn babyface, like his Ring of Honor character.
And I'm still under the impression that come Rumble time, I don't know if it's going to happen at the Rumble. I think it's everyone's ideal scenario. Kevin Owens is dominating in the Rumble, and then that's when Sami Zayn returns and makes his full main roster debut. And they feud, they could feud for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. That could be, your Intercontinental title match, Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn, not to get too excited to the point where he separates his shoulder on his entrance again, though.
Just to go back to that, I mean, there's another name possibly that they could go with is possibly a rematch from last year's WrestleMania. They might have put Brock Lesnar in the Rumble. He wins it. He faced Roman Reigns. That's the only. If I bet my money, I'm going to bet that's going to happen.
Possibly. I mean, I think that with Brock, I think they're really going to try and do Brock and Rock at WrestleMania. I think that's like the goal is to get Rock into WrestleMania to face Brock Lesnar.
See, that doesn't make sense.
I think it's going to be him and Triple H.
Yeah, because as I was saying, last year's WrestleMania, they got into it, and I mean, that makes more sense, Triple H and The Rock for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But if you put Brock and Rock, that's going to be, if you put Brock and Rock, it would not make no sense.
I was going to say, I mean, we're talking about Cesaro having a big opportunity. Why not pull the trigger and do Brock and Cesaro?
Oh, that would be nice. That would be really, really nice. But I wouldn't have bet on it. I mean, there's so much questions we don't know. Next month we're going to see what's going to go down. But let's see what's the tournament first.
This whole Rollins thing really fucking shook everything up.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just name the participants in this tournament so far. I mean, right now everybody says Roman Reigns is going to win the whole thing. Who knows? What if WWE pull a swerve and give it to someone else that no one didn't expect? But I'm going to name the participants right now. You got Roman Reigns going against The Big Show. You got Cesaro going against Sheamus. Alberto Del Rio going against Stardust. Kalisto going against Ryback. Titus O'Neil against Kevin Owens. Neville going against Wade Barrett. Dolph Ziggler against The Miz. And Dean Ambrose and going against Tyler Breeze. Well, they already announced that some matches in the first round will be taking place on SmackDown. The quarterfinals will take place next week on Raw. And then I believe the last four will take place in Survivor Series. We all saw Roman Reigns beat The Big Show. I mean, to be honest with you, I fast-forwarded that match. I didn't watch the whole match because I didn't think this match would be good anyway. And plus, I was an hour and a half behind Raw, so I just fast-forwarded this shit. I don't know if you guys want to comment on that, but we all know Roman Reigns won. He's going to advance to the next round.
Yeah, I mean, like, talk about starting the show off with just you could hear the groans from the WWE fans coming when Big Show's music hit. Like, it's like, oh, like, come on. But I think Roman Reigns, his match next week, I think it's going to be better. Let's just say that, because we'll get to that in a little bit. But, the next first round matchup we had, Kevin Owens taking on Titus O'Neil. Of course, I think everybody expected Kevin Owens to win. And once again, Kevin Owens on his way down to the ring starts cutting a promo. He's great. I like how he's just like, you fans here in England think that you're the smartest wrestling fans. No. That is not true. But just he's such a great heel, and see, that's why you can't make the guy a babyface anytime soon. I mean, Kevin Owens, he could work as a babyface, but he's too good of a heel right now to even think about turning him anytime soon. But so Kevin Owens defeats Titus O'Neil, so Roman Reigns, Titus O'Neil, Kevin Owens advance to the next round. Let's go with all the first round matchups, and then we'll get to the rest of the matches that happened on Raw. Next, we had Dolph Ziggler taking on The Miz. I thought this was okay. The first three matches were okay. I knew who was going to win, but they weren't really good quality wrestling matches. They were just kind of simple squashes. So, that it kind of set the tone. I was like, all right, hopefully it gets better. But then we had Cesaro taking on Sheamus with King Barrett at ringside. And I thought this was a damn good match. I don't care what anyone says about Sheamus. I'm not the biggest Sheamus fan. But like I said, I've said it before in past Wrestling Heads episodes, when Sheamus needs to go out there and put on a good match, he can go out there and kick the shit out of somebody and put on a damn good match. What do you guys think of Cesaro and
I
Sheamus?
love that match, man. I retweeted a couple of tweets during Raw that said basically if Sheamus was an independent worker, everybody would be sucking his dick and loving his work. Straight up.
Yeah. That's true. That's really true. I mean, if he wasn't in the Indies, everybody would be all over his ass, and it would be like, oh, he should go to the WWE, blah, blah, blah. But
it's literally because he's a WWE-made product that he is so vilified and hated.
Yeah, that's so true. I agree with that 100%. It's just that, he's one of those products that a lot of people don't like that Vince McMahon likes. They like big guys. It was basically one of his projects, and no one didn't like it. I mean, Sheamus is getting all that heat, all that weight on him because of all that. And I feel like he's just trying to prove that he can be just more than a slow muscle dude. He could actually work in the ring. And he could do a 20-minute, 30-minute, 40-minute match. He could do it. And hopefully everybody can see, one day that they could turn around and say, hey, Sheamus is a good worker, and they can see that. They could just forget about it. He was just a freaking pet up Vince McMahon,
Yeah, it's kind of like Drew McIntyre. I kind of feel like he had the same stigma to him for a while because he was a WWE-made product. But obviously, we've seen what he's done on the Indies. Just before I let Tom speak, regarding the World Title Tournament, hilarious tweet from Biggie Langston. He tweets Ryback. He's like, I'll give you $20 to drop Callisto on his head. I can sweeten the deal if you're willing to do some other things. DM me for details.
This guy.
God, New Day.
Biggie has the funniest tweets, I swear to God. I don't know if you saw that tweet a few months ago to Mick Foley's daughter, asking her, is that the only, what else in your body that claps? I hope you guys get that.
Oh boy!
That's awesome. Biggie's trying to get
is the New Day.
Trying to get his hip twirl on, if you know what I'm saying.
Hashtag booty. But going back to Sheamus, Matt, when you posted that tweet, it was one of those tweets where you read it and you're just like, yes, this tweet right fucking here, because if Sheamus, if he went over to the UK or he went onto the indie scene, people would freaking lose their minds over him. He'd be putting on great matches. And then people would be like, oh, well, I knew Sheamus was a good worker all along. I knew he could put on great matches. But what do you guys think of the whole Sheamus-King Barrett pairing? It really seems like they seem to be really sticking with this. Do you think it has legs, or do you think it's just kind of going to fizzle out?
It just really sucks that Rusev got injured, to be 100% honest. I think they could have and I'm kind of throwing back to games here because, WWE 2K16, it's an amazing game. Going back to a couple of games ago where they had that, United Kingdom stable in one of the story modes, it kind of flashes me back to that. They kind of could have ran with something similar to that, but unfortunately Rusev injured and they have a tag team going, which could at least be something very interesting.
Yeah, and if they're gonna, I think they're teasing on tweets that we're gonna fix up the tag team division in the WWE, and it looks like they're gonna be a tag team for a while until maybe they feel like, you know what, let's just break them up. Especially, I don't see it lasting too long because Sheamus is the Money in the Bank briefcase holder, and he has to cash it in between now and July. So I don't see this last too long. I just a little thing going on for a few months, and that's it. And they break it off. But unfortunately, right now the tag team division is they're going other ways. I don't know what's up with the Dudley Boys, but it looks like for the tag house you're gonna see a New Day and Usos rivalry going on. It might take a while, that rivalry. Or maybe Lucha Dragons win there, because last week it seemed like they're pushing them, and tonight they wasn't even a part of Raw. But Kalisto is in the tournament, which we'll get back to that. Dean Ambrose did defeat Tyler Breeze. I think this match was not bad. I didn't like the ending, though, how Dean Ambrose tricked Tyler Breeze and he pinned him. But out of all that, it was pretty cool. Tyler Breeze, once again, he's showing. I mean, if people like to compare Seth Rollins to Shawn Michaels, well, I kind of compared Tyler Breeze to Shawn, not because it's character-wise, but in-ring work-wise, he shows that he can work a good match with anybody. You know, if you look at Shawn Michaels' career, name me any bad matches he had with, except with the one with Hulk Hogan, which he purposely, you know, made it bad. But I don't know if you can name a handful of bad matches he had, but Tyler Breeze can, you know, work in the ring.
Yeah, I thought Ambrose and Tyler Breeze, they did a good job. You know, I think, you know, if they had more time and, you know, things, you know, went in a different direction, they could have had a better match, but this was fine for, you know, an opening round match, excuse me, to the tournament. So I enjoyed it. It was pretty good, and like I said, but we'll see what happens with Tyler Breeze going forward. Like I said, I don't know how long this whole thing with Summer Rae is going to last. I don't know what to do with his character and the direction. It's just like you need to have something going with this guy. You can't just keep putting him in random feuds and matches week by week.
I just hope him and Summer stay together for a while. Not like how Summer was with Fandango and bam, she was gone. Like at least a while, like almost a year, because I feel like if you take her off soon, like say by February or right before WrestleMania time, Tyler Breeze will be the next Fandango. I'm serious. You will see him as superstars and shit. It might hurt him. Those shows me that, you know, they got nothing planned for him, and they're probably gonna be burying the guy. That's why I feared when he may join the main roster. But right now, looking pretty impressive. His feud with Dolph Ziggler is not over yet. I mean, right now, I'm digging the feud. There's a story based on it, and it could be a lengthy rivalry. But after Dolph Ziggler, I hope he finds something for him and see what he could do, continue on to his career. So, I mean, right now he just had a good match with Dean Ambrose. Hopefully that will turn the management, open their eyes, and okay, we gotta find out something new for maybe a Dean Ambrose and Tyler Breeze feud will be something in the works. But we know he can work on the mic. We just saw earlier when he called Renee Young ugly, which I don't think she's not. I will fucking titty master ass, but unfortunately, he called her ugly, and he came out with a slogan that I never thought I would have come up, but he said he would be the face of the WWE, and it fits right there. You know, he's a no homo, handsome guy, and yeah, he could be the face of the WWE.
I think so. I think Dean Ambrose could easily be a world champion, and no, I don't think anybody would have a problem with Ambrose like being a world champion. I can't think of anybody who would be like, man, I don't want Ambrose as champion. No, like the hardcore fans like Ambrose, the women like Ambrose, kids like Ambrose. He's like the most over guy. You don't see him really getting booed. You know, Cena, he gets booed by the older fans, but when Ambrose comes out, you don't hear any boos because I think it's relatively known that a lot of people they like him. The older fans like him because of the time on the Indies and CZW and Dragon Gate and Evolve, et cetera, et cetera. Women like him because he's good looking, and kids like him. I don't know why, but they like him. So Ambrose could easily, I think, be world champion, and nobody would have a problem with it. But
yeah, I would have no problem with it. But did you hear that annoying kid during that match yelling out stuff to Tyler Breeze? That's what you get for messing with Dolph Ziggler. Let's go, Ambrose. Let's go, Ambrose. Come on, Ambrose.
Hey, leave the poor kid alone. He was invested. You know what? At least, you know what? I would rather that than like a kid sitting there doing nothing, sitting on his hands, not getting involved in the product. Like that would make me more upset than a kid yelling and screaming. Like, kid's getting invested in what's going on. At least he's paying attention. You know, John Cena's not out there, so I'm pretty sure half the kids didn't even watch Raw tonight.
Well, Unfortunately, I might be sitting around kids when I go to the show on the Forum on December the 12th. It could be a WWE Network special, who knows? But I already got my ticket this past weekend, so I'm going to check it out. The Forum is just 1 mile away. I mean, the fuck? I always drive to wrestling shows. Why not walk to a wrestling show? The Forum, right there, you know? I could walk a mile, fuck it. And I just go to a wrestling show for once, walking, not just driving 40 minutes to Reseda, California, 20 minutes to Southgate, California, a half hour to the Lucha Underground Arena, you know? I don't have to do that. I can just walk to the fucking Forum. Fuck it. But we could talk about that a little later. Just for anybody that's listening right now and didn't watch Raw, I'm just giving you an update how the brackets look. So next week on Raw, we're going to see for sure Roman Reigns going against Cesaro because they both advanced, and they're going to face each other. And also next week for sure, we're going to see Dolph Ziggler going against Dean Ambrose because they both advanced. As for Kevin Owens, he did advance, but there's more first-round matches going to take place on SmackDown this Thursday night. You might spoil it when we do our recording show this past week, or interview with Ethan Page after you do that. But the other matches are going to be Neville versus Barrett, but the winner of that match will take on Kevin Owens next week. And also, there's 2 more first-round matches going to take place on SmackDown. It's going to be Alberto Del Rio, oh yeah, Miss America, motherfucker, going against Stardust, and also Kalisto will be going against Ryback. So the winners from those 2 matches are going to be facing each other in the next round. So there you go. That's your bracket. Before we move on, I just want to ask you guys a question. Now we know who advanced. You guys got a favorite to win? I mean, are you guys still picking Roman Reigns to win it all?
Got to make Roman look strong, brother.
Yep. I still have my Dean Ambrose thing, man. I think we're going to see a Dean Ambrose, Kevin Owens semifinal, Del Rio, Reigns semifinal. Both men beat a champion to get into the finals. Reigns wins the belt. Ambrose turns on him post-match celebration. Sheamus comes out, cashes in, and we have a new WWE World Heavyweight Champion twice in one night.
Please don't say that. Oh, my God.
You heard it here first.
Damn you. I hope you're wrong. You know, that makes me want to say, because you were one of Dalton Castle's boys, I want to be your fucking Silas Young. I'm going to teach you how to be a man, fucking Matt. Just saying that. I'm going to, slap you in them like he does to the boys at Ring of Honor. So that makes me want to do that now for you saying that shit. But anyway,
and then I'm gonna come to California when it happens, and I'm gonna slap you in the face.
No, I'm gonna make you wear jeans and a tank top. That's what's gonna happen, and make you drink a keg of beer. But anyways, and I gotta look for my own sidekick. If I can find one, because I can't find a big fat dude that can do that. I guess I'll get Skip to do it. Fuck it. But anyways,
Skits a sap? Whatever. Story for a different time.
Maybe he could gain weight in 1 year. Who knows? But anyways.
Oh, jeez. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen. We also had a couple Divas matches here on Monday Night Raw. Becky Lynch getting the victory over Paige.
No, you're wrong. Paige. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. All right, sorry about that.
I'm right. I know.
Yeah. You got it right. Yeah. But it's just the ending look was different.
So I'm pretty sure that was Becky Lynch's first singles win on the main roster. I could be mistaken, but I don't remember her winning a one-on-one match on Raw. So I think that's her first singles.
I'm trying to think that stupid beat the clock match. I think she won that one. I want to say she did. That happened like a few months ago back. But I could be wrong. But that was a big win for Becky Lynch. And then, in the end happens, Paige comes out and attacks her and does her what was her move called? PTO on the freaking table. And then you had Charlotte's coming down and she runs away. So that's really enough of a feud between the two at Survivor Series. So, yeah. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? Maybe we'll see a new Divas champion. I mean, I don't mind seeing Paige become a Divas champion the way she's going right now. It wouldn't bother me.
But definitely interesting to see Becky Lynch get the victory over Paige. And, excuse me, just continuing the feud between Charlotte and Paige going into Survivor Series. We also had another Divas match in Natalya versus Naomi, and Natalya picking up the victory. We saw somebody attack Natalya, and then, she comes back. She has this match, defeats Naomi, but after, Sasha Banks lays out Natalya, and the boss stands tall. So, you think there's something going on, Sasha Banks and Natalya?
Possibly, or we can see a possible beginning of a breakup of Team Bad, because I saw SmackDown last week, and this all started where she said she wants to challenge the leader of Team Bad, which there's a little backstage segment between Sasha or the whole Team Bad. Sasha was going to go in and wrestle Natalya. Then Naomi gave her a look like, hold on, no, wait a minute. I should go wrestle her. And then they had a little friction going on. But Tamina kind of like broke it off and said, you know what, I'll do it. She went in and had the match. But I don't know. I mean, we heard this rumor.
And not only that, Natalya kind of teased the breakup with tweeting about, the possible leader of Team Bad, kind of trying to separate the three of them.
Yeah.
And we kind of saw the We Want Sasha chants kind of separating Sasha as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the end we see like Tamina and Naomi turn on Sasha or Sasha turn on Naomi, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, because a few weeks ago there was a rumor going around that they want to turn Sasha to a babyface. So this is probably the beginning of it. But I have a question for both of you. When WrestleMania season comes, what will you do with the Divas? Now you got Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Paige, Becky Lynch, Natalya. I mean, you got all these women on the main roster. What the hell are you going to do with all of that?
I mean, are you talking if I could book it any way I want? Because if I could book it any way I want, I'd bring Asuka up to the main roster, have her kick the shit out of everybody, win the Divas title, throw it in the trash, set it on fire. She brings in a new title. There you go.
Yeah, that was totally unrealistic. That's really hard because a lot of divas will probably get lost in the shuffle. Like we said, we have the three stables, and especially apparently Nikki Bella's already on her way back, so she's not going to be out too long. It's going to be hard to not have at least a couple of those divas get lost in the shuffle in the end.
Yeah, and another thing, we're seeing some of the other divas that were in the scene make their way back to NXT. Is hashtag Girl Bye going to be coming back?
Oh, stop it.
I don't even know why I would ask that question, but, we're seeing Cameron and Eva Marie kind of get back onto NXT.
Hey, Tom.
And I think it's just to propel them back up to the main roster as soon as they can.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah.
Girl Bye.
I knew you were going to say it, but I'll let you have it. But I like I said, to me, like I said, they're really trying to do this whole. I can't believe I'm still saying this. These two words, the Divas Revolution. Like I said, they really want to make it legitimate. You got to change things up. You have to first of all get rid of that belt. That is number one. You cannot take any woman seriously as a competitive athlete with that butterfly, frilly little title. That has got to go. That's the first change, and it's something really big, because when you look at their champion, you want it to be a woman who's, competitive, because, WWE's, had ties with Ronda Rousey, and they want to bring her in whenever they can. So you want to make these women look like tough, competitive athletes. Get rid of the purple butterfly belt. I mean, come on. Like, it's we're past the point of when, are they going to make these women stop looking like frilly little flowers and start making them look like actual wrestlers? But, I don't know. Divas it's a whole mess, I think, on the main roster. But we'll see what happens going into WrestleMania season.
Yeah, I doubt that Ronda Rousey, we'll see her in the WWE ring anytime soon. I mean, the way she's doing in UFC, I'm trying to convince Skitch, you know what, let's don't watch that fight, because she's going to kill what's-her-face in a few seconds, so that's not worth watching it, to be honest with you. As long as somehow she starts losing
did go on
fights.
record, though, and say that she wanted to be WWE Divas champion, so it's not out of the realm.
I know. She could tease like she's gonna wrestle a match in WWE, but Dana White is not gonna let her do it. Trust me. I mean, knowing Dana, he's a fucking stubborn dude. He's not gonna let her wrestle not even one match. As long as she's under contract with the UFC, we'll never see her wrestle once in the WWE. The only way we'll see that is until she started losing fights, like Chuck Liddell is. If Chuck Liddell trying to make a comeback to the UFC, I'll laugh. Until Ronda Rousey gets to that point, we'll see her in the WWE ring. But as of right now, that's not going to happen. Right now, she's probably making a whole lot of money because of her popularity. I mean, she's getting movie offers. She's probably getting a shitload of money doing all these fucking bikini poses and shit and magazines and all that stuff. I mean, she's making money wherever she can, so, I mean, why just go take all the way and just go to the WWE, And
Are you
she's
ready
also
for
making money doing
Rainmaker, Ronda Rousey. There we go.
Yeah, Rainmaker. And not only that, she's not even showing up in appearances that much. She's only doing those autograph stuff. So that's why we won't see her at PWG again, because of, everybody was asking her for photos in that American Legion home when she was there. But, yeah. She also makes autographs, money from autographs and all that stuff, photos. Yeah, why turn that down for WWE? So they ain't gonna happen anytime soon. So Skits could just keep dreaming on it, or have his wet dream that fucking Ronda Rousey in the WWE ring. Ain't gonna happen. So keep it dry, Skits.
Yeah, I think she'll eventually be there, but not for a while. I think eventually when she's done, tearing up the women's division in UFC, this weekend she's got Holly Holm down in Australia. It's going to be coming on this Saturday. So she's going to beat Holly Holm. Question is she going to do it in 30 seconds or a minute? But we'll see.
Something's telling me, I know this is not UFC, this is not an MMA show, but it's going to be at least more than 30 seconds, getting close to the end of the first round, then she'll beat her. That's how I see it.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, that's how it is.
We'll see what happens with the Divas and Ronda Rousey and all that. But let us finish up the Raw talk with the closing segment that everybody's talking about. Bray Wyatt comes out alone, starts talking about how everyone needs to bow their heads in respect to The Undertaker and Kane, and then starts his maniacal, cackling laugh and says that their legacy is dead. There is no more respect for them anymore. And then, just as he's talking, lights go out, lightning hits, first the ring hits the ring post explodes, then it hits the stage, Undertaker's music hits, and who walks out but the Brothers of Destruction? Make their way to the ring, and then Y family appears, and Brothers of Destruction stand tall, take out the Y family. So, big question coming out of here. actually a couple of big questions. Number one, why are Undertaker and Kane back so soon? Because if we are to believe that Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family abducted Undertaker and Kane, where did he take them to where they could escape? And number two...
The thing, sorry to cut you off, the thing I don't get about this is why in the hell did Undertaker and Kane just come in and squash the Wyatt family like nothing ever happened?
Yeah, that was going to be my next point, is that you built up this whole thing of Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family looking like these unstoppable monsters. They're taking out, you know, the Brothers of Destruction, the two legends of this business. And, you know, the first sign that they come back, they just easily beat them down. It's not like we saw the Wyatt family stand tall once again, and, you know, it seemed like, okay, man, The Undertaker and Kane, they're not looking the same. Who knows if this is the end for them? No. Undertaker and Kane just take everybody out. You know, I like the segment, but at the same time I hated it. I like what they're doing, but I hate how it was executed. I thought it was terrible, terrible looking for the Wyatt family. Once again, you know, I talk about this all the freaking time. Anytime Bray Wyatt gets some sort of momentum or looks like he has some sort of depth to his character and looks like he's actually a legitimate threat, he's just made to look like a joke. And tonight was another prime example.
Yeah, you know, I was hoping for a because we heard the rumors today that Ben Balor was backstage. I was hoping maybe he would get involved in this story. Maybe he will be the one that helps out The Undertaker and Kane. But unfortunately, they're making this, you know, it looks like Survivor Series is going to be a 2-on-4 handicap match, and
I'm thinking it's going to be Strowman and Wyatt against Taker and Kane.
I don't know. I mean, that could be it, but it doesn't matter what it is. Undertaker and Kane are going to walk out winners because of the 25th anniversary. And then after that, what do you do with the Wyatt family? You know? That's
why I can't take Bray Wyatt seriously, and I haven't for a while.
Yeah. I mean,
and
all that.
You know what? It's a shame because, you know, I can remember when the whole Bray Wyatt character was first, a lot of mentions down in NXT and FCW. It was actually first FCW, then NXT. And people were saying, man, you know, this guy, he's cutting great promos. Like, he's cutting these promos that we haven't seen from a character in a long time. And it feels like a next Undertaker or that type of level where you're just kind of sucked in. And there was a lot of hype around him. You know, he was brought up, a lot of hype was brought up around his debut, a lot of vignettes and promos. And he was really built up as this, like, next big thing. And with just in a short span of time, you know, he defeated Kane. He, you know, that whole storyline with Daniel Bryan, you know, came about. And he actually came out on top of that feud with Daniel Bryan because, you know, he, you know, had Daniel Bryan join the Wyatt family. Then Daniel Bryan turned on him, which I don't think they were planning to do that early, but he did it. But then Bray Wyatt beat him at the Royal Rumble. So then he goes on to John Cena, loses that whole feud, loses at WrestleMania. He gets one little cheap win, which was the dumbest win. Like I said, I don't care what anybody says. That program that Bray Wyatt did with John Cena did nothing for him because he lost at Mania. The one win that he got in the feud was because of a stupid kid at ringside singing "He's Got the Whole World in His Hand," and then he lost the last man standing match. It was stupid. It did nothing for him. And ever since then, he's just been, I think that really, really derailed Bray Wyatt was that John Cena feud. I think that was the first sign of what was going to come in the future. And like I said, it's a shame because listen, Bray Wyatt is a talented guy. He could go in the ring. He's a quick, big guy. And he's got something unique about his promos, and, you know, a lot could be done. But it's just creative, just has no clue what to do with it. And I don't understand how, because I think it's very easy to book somebody like him. It's honestly, you know, mind boggling that nothing's been done with him past he gets a couple promos, gets in a feud, and then loses the feud. So I don't know.
And his only win feud I can remember is probably against Ryback. That's it.
Yeah, it's just there's nothing that Bray Wyatt has done in WWE thus far that's been notable or, you know, of importance. That's really elevated him to the next level and made him to seem like the next threat. So, like I said, it's confusing, but honestly, it's not surprising. Like I said, creative and that whole creative staff and what Vince McMahon is running, they don't know what to do 99% of the time with certain wrestlers. There's so many prime examples over the years that the list is too long. You know, the one benefit to Bray Wyatt is that he's still really young. I think he's like 26, 27. So he has time on his side, but that's really the only thing. But like I said, you're destroying one of the most interesting characters that we've seen in a while so quickly. So, I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see what happens in the next few months with Bray Wyatt. I mean, all we can say, let's hope and pray that it's something that he turn around next year in 2016, that we can say, you know, Tom, remember when we thought Bray Wyatt is going to be going down the drain? All we got to say is the only best thing we can do is hope and pray they turn it around. So, I mean, I like the Bray Wyatt character a lot. I just don't like where's it going. But, yeah, we'll see what happens the next few months. I guess, yeah, we're done talking about Raw. There's nothing else. I mean, there's pretty much nothing else to talk. We know how to talk about that player from Manchester United. But let's just take a commercial break. And I got something to talk about Lucha Underground when we come back.
What's up? This is the phenomenal AJ Styles down here in LA, kicking it with the PWG, busting my tail. Freaking great tournament, the bowler tournament. It's freaking amazing. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, everybody and anybody needs to listen to Wrestling Heads podcast.
Hey guys, this is Pikachu, and I'm challenging Wrestling Heads Radio to a Pokemon battle. Boom, baby.
All right. I listened to it. Unfortunately, I wasn't on the last show, and I listened to it. And then this little segment you guys talked about kind of bothered me in a way. And it's funny that Skits lead this whole thing, and he lives in L.A. But this is kind of bothering me. Okay, you guys had that talk between PWG and Lucha Underground going on the same day. All right, and then he asked you guys, you know. Like, example, he asked you, Tom, if you were here in California, what show will you go to? Will you go to PWG and Lucha Underground? What bothered me is that you could go to both shows on one day. Think about it. Look, Lucha Underground starts at 3 o'clock, okay? Then they film 2 episodes there in one day. And you have a choice. Either if you want to go to PWG, that's fine. But you can just check out one episode, and then they'll finish, like, I'll say 5 o'clock. Then you can head down.
I believe, Oscar, to point out 2 things. Number 1, I believe they're taping 4 episodes per taping. And number 2, I believe it says you have to stay for the entire tapings.
Are you sure they're filming 4 episodes? Because that's going to be at least till, like, 9 o'clock.
That's what it said on the graphics that they put out.
Because going to the past experience to Lucha Underground, they only filmed 2 episodes each day. That's how I see it. 4 episodes, that's going to be crazy. That means we're going to stay 6 hours in the temple. That
sounds about right, man.
Are you sure 4 hours a day or 4 episodes a week?
Let me go check right now.
Yeah, check it out. It's because I feel like if they're doing the same format that it was the first season, then you could go to both PWG and Lucha Underground in one night. I mean, if it's the same format that like last season, the show will end at 7 o'clock. Then you can hit on the 10 or the 101 freeway to Reseda, California.
You must stay for the full 4 hours of taping on the date requested.
Interesting. Well, you know what? This weekend I am going to Lucha Underground, and I was planning to go to Hold on. Are you sure? Hold on. So it said full force because this weekend Santino's, which is like 15 minutes away on the streets, by the way, they're doing a show, and I just noticed that they changed their timing from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Now the show will start at 8 o'clock. And I'm thinking because of Lucha Underground, that's why they're changing the days of the timing or whatever of the show. So they're probably putting another hour because they're having making people make more time to come to their show if they want to come after Lucha Underground. But and also they got guys like B-Boy and I believe him as B's on the card as well. And I'm sure they're gonna be waiting for those guys for their show. I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to believe 4 episodes in one day. That's going to be crazy. So that means they have to start that show early, like 1 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah. But, I'm going to tell you this. Even if Lucha Underground was open, it was only taping 2 episodes. How long, when you went to Lucha Underground, how long did it take when you first got to the temple to when you left the building? How long was it?
Okay, well, this is how they did it different when they first started this whole thing. The only filmed 1 episode each show or each day, put it that way. So the first day they filmed that episode, they just filmed that episode and that was it. Then you come back tomorrow and record episode 2. Now they're doing like two episodes in one day. So basically each weekend.
How long did the 1 episode tapings last?
2 hours, because I remember we go in at 3 o'clock, and then they set everybody down, and then they finish that, and then there's a little intermission around 5 something, and then they come back in, and everything's in like at 7 something.
Okay, so even if Lucha Underground was taping only 1 episode, that's 2 hours of Lucha Underground. If PWG is the same day, that's 3 to 4 hours, more likely 4 hours of PWG that you have to go through, and you're up until midnight, 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
Also including driving and all that different stuff. That's 6 hours of wrestling. I don't care if you're the most hardcore fan. That's tough to do. That is really tough to do.
I can speak from experience. That's really tough to do, especially with the caliber of like Lucha Underground and PWG, man. That's exhausting as a fan.
Yeah, when I was at WrestleMania week, I went to Evolve, then NXT. So actually, no, I went to Evolve, WWE. I went to that WWE Access where they had NXT matches. Then I went to the NXT show. I mean, that was like from 3 o'clock all the way to, I'll say, 1 o'clock in the morning. Because the NXT ended really, really late. So, and then drive an hour back to my cousin's house. I mean, that was exhausting right there. But yeah, that was so many hours of wrestling that night. So I feel you. I figured on that. Now made me thinking like, okay, if I'm gonna do PWG and Lucha Underground for All-Star Weekend, Friday night go to All-Star Weekend, then I wake up, then head down to Lucha Underground. Then go back to Reseda, that'd be crazy. I mean, I don't mind doing it, but fuck it. I probably would do it. But I don't know. I'll talk to Skitz and see what he wants to do, if he wants to go to Lucha or just go to PWG. But this is what I'm going to do. This weekend, I'm going to go to Lucha Underground. And if it's 4 hours, like what Matt said, then holy shit, then I'll probably, then they will think that, okay, I probably just do PWG that night instead of going to Lucha. Because I like Lucha Underground, but PWG is going to be a better vibe. You know, it's going to be more fun than being on Lucha Underground.
Not only that, you can catch everything that happens on Lucha Underground on TV. For PWG, you got to wait quite a while for the DVDs or the trailer to be released.
Yeah, true. So I'm going to head down to PWG, if anything. I mean, that's the only way that that's like, it's going to be hard for me to say I'm going to choose this show or PWG, and there's no way it's going to happen. Unless Ring of Honor announced that their show will be the same day at PWG show on February, then I'll be like, okay, I'm picking Ring of Honor, because who in the hell, how in the hell am I going to see Nakamura and Tanahashi in the United States on the West Coast, and then, you know, how can you pass that out for PWG, you know? But anyways, last week they announced the dates of PWG. It was confirmed it's going to be 11th and 12th, but nothing yet announced that when tickets going to on sale or whatever. Nothing yet, but I'm still waiting. I have money saved, so I'm still waiting for that. So hopefully maybe they'll tweet out something tomorrow or sometime this week when the ticket's going to go on sale and announce the card. I mean, who knows? I'm hearing rumors Michael Elgin might be there because now his Ring of Honor contract expired, so that's a rumor. Of course, the Lucha Underground guys are going to be there. Like, just think about it. Look at how much money Dragon has saved. Let me ask you guys a question. Who do you think is paying the flights for the Lucha Underground talent to come to LA? I'm sure it's not Dragon, right, for that week. And I'm sure
can tell
it's
you one thing.
El Rey.
From what I know about PWG, I know they get a lump sum for every single show from high spots to kind of produce and do whatever, and that's just that. Like, they make the ticket sales and everything else on top of that too. So I'm sure they're doing well. They're doing okay if they're bringing in all these names and continue to do it.
Yeah, but just think about this though. You know how Lucha guys are doing this tapings that same weekend as All-Star Weekend? I mean, do you think Dragon or anybody from High Spots paying for their flight? I'm thinking more like the El Rey or Lucha Underground paying for their flights more than Dragon. Because unfortunately, they're going to be there that weekend, and it's like, okay, let's make a PWG show that weekend, and bam. You know, all they got to do is pay the talent. You don't have to pay for their flights or nothing. So, I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
It's going to be this kind of scenario, and I guess a working relationship between Lucha Underground and PWG, and who knows, you know, we were just talking about, like I said, how much PWG is expanding. They're the number one independent promotion in, I would say, the United States, maybe even Canada as well, as far as popularity and, you know, money is concerned. Like I said, their tickets sell out faster than all the other indie promotions combined. They make a lot on DVD sales. You know, this 5 DVDs for $40 sale, everybody's talking about it. They're going to make a good amount of money just off of that alone. You also have to think about Bola this year, how much money that's going to produce. So, you know, they're going to have the resources. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of what they do with it and, you know, what's going to become of it. And, you know, it's good, though, because, like I said, we're seeing a lot of guys getting shots in AAA because of this. Look at Mike Bailey. Mike Bailey would have never, ever been in AAA if it wasn't for PWG. PWG allowed him to get into the perfect environment, and it just so happened that he was working on the same weekend as a lot of AAA talent, and they probably went back and said, this guy is really good. We need to get him the hell in here and liven things up. Because I think I think Lord knows AAA could use some good luck because they haven't had the best 2015. So we'll see. Like I said, it's a very interesting dynamic. But like I said, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait for Lucha Underground to come back. And, PWG is coming back next month as well. So a lot of things definitely heating up toward the end of 2015.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see what's going to go down. Maybe Monday I'll break on some news, what's going to go down, what happens at Lucha Underground. I might do that. So, yeah.
Did you guys hear the news of one Alberto El Patron unable to finish his AAA dates?
I didn't hear the news, but I heard that he's going to have to go to Puerto Rico to work for WWC. He has a match in December, I could tell you that.
Yeah, apparently AAA announced today that Del Rio is stripped of the title and they're crowning a new champion in December at their last show, I believe, of the year.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I know AAA does like a big show every end of the year. They do a big show. I guess unfortunately they're not gonna do it. So I'm guessing that they're gonna. I guess they allow AAA to strip them of the title and crowning champion. I mean, it's gonna be hard to think right now. They lost some talent. I mean, it's been kind of like a bad 2015 for AAA. They lost Mr. C's over some bullshit. Then you have El Del Rio going back to WWE. Now, unfortunately, what you're going to do now, I mean, with that roster they have, I mean, the only way I can see become your next mega champion is either you put the title on Cage or they might put on Rey Mysterio. Sorry, but that could be the possible idea. I mean,
push Brian Cage. That can only mean good things for your business, is pushing Brian Cage.
Yeah, I mean, do that. You could do that, but who else you can go against him? I mean, I have a feeling they're going to have to put a Rey Mysterio versus Cage feud going down the road in AAA. So,
you could do that. It's the typical David versus, I mean, how many times have we seen Rey Mysterio versus a guy much bigger than him? We've seen it 100 times throughout his career in the different promotions he's been in. It still works, and it can work well. I think Brian Cage is a guy that you put him in there with Rey Mysterio, and he can kind of work with Rey's strengths, maybe try and hide, some of the weaknesses that Rey has, being a little bit older and all the knee surgeries Rey has been through. So I think that could work. And, got to go to heel champion in Cage, make him really hated down there. So that's just my opinion, though. But I want to ask you, you guys, if you agree with this whole Del Rio thing. Obviously, it sucks for AAA because they were kind of forced to vacate the title and not have anything conclude with this. But isn't it their fault that this happened kind of in the first place by not signing Del Rio to an exclusive contract? Because they figure in not signing him to an exclusive contract because they figured, okay, he wants to keep going with Lucha Underground. So with him working Lucha Underground, he couldn't go to CMLL because of the Lucha Underground deal. And with that, he couldn't go to New Japan because New Japan works with CMLL. And Ring of Honor can't afford to bring him in full time, neither can TNA. So they figure they have him locked in without even signing him to an exclusive contract. But then here comes WWE, and Del Rio says, I don't want to work Lucha Underground anymore. That falls through, and now he's in WWE. So do you kind of put the blame on AAA, I think, as much as I do?
Yeah. I mean, right now I'm actually tweeting with Nathan about like this whole Triple A thing going on right now, and his thoughts. But he's also saying that he thinks Cage is going to be your next champion. And about Alberto, well, yeah, I have to blame Triple A and at this point, because if you knew his contract was running up, or you knew it, or he could return to WWE, and he should carry a title, but you're not under contract with your company, I mean, you could have made him lose the title to Cage. I mean, I believe they had another match after the haircut match. Unfortunately, I know for sure, you can't not cut Del Rio's hair. I'm sure he wasn't gonna like, be down for getting a haircut. But yeah, I mean, you could have had one match afterwards, like a rematch, and this time Cage beat them for the title, and then you could have Cage become your champion right now and let Del Rio move on to someone else, and let Cage continue on working on Triple A. Yeah, I agree. It was their fault. They hadn't done something, in case they move. I mean, in case they fucking in case Del Rio does decide to move on. It's not like New Japan, which if AJ Styles was the champ right now, they'll make him drop the title right now and make him decide: you stay with us or go to fucking WWE. Do what the fuck you want to do. I bet you that's why they didn't drop the title back in August. I think it was August when he dropped the title, if I'm not mistaken. And they're gonna be, because you know how New Japan is. They're not afraid to lose talent. If they want to go to WWE, fine. They'll bring in new talent. They're not afraid. So if you want to stay, fine, and we might keep the title. If you don't, fuck it. We make you drop it and do what you want to do.
Just so you know, he dropped the title in June because the G1 was in July and August, and Okada's champion going into the G1. But this kind of also points me to another question, and I want to start off with Matt with this, because I think this doesn't also just apply to AAA, because we're seeing it in different companies. Now exclusive contracts going to become more and more important to companies like AAA, and I think more importantly, maybe to Ring of Honor. Do you think that's going to be the case? And Matt, I'll start off with you.
100%. You look at the case with Michael Elgin and the whole him being Ring of Honor World Champion, and picking to lose to Trevor Lee in the Battle of Los Angeles tournament. Obviously, Ring of Honor wasn't a big fan of that. When you have talent doing independent bookings and you have them in big roles on TV, that's going to play a big role in what they do, what their booking is. So I definitely think if people can lock up companies can lock up people's contracts, they're going to do so as much as possible, especially going forward as well, especially with Ring of Honor starting this whole thing with the Young Bucks. I think that was one of the biggest signings in independent wrestling history. It's going to be very interesting how tag team wrestling progresses without the Young Bucks. But not getting off topic, I definitely think that plays a role.
Yeah, I mean, I told Skids many a times, but he doesn't believe it's going to happen. But I always tell Skids, don't be surprised Ring of Honor sign all their talent exclusively. Like we won't see ACH no more in PWG or Cedric Alexander in PWG anymore. Like I told him, don't be surprised that happens. And Skids always believes that one day ACH is going to come back to PWG. Well, he can keep dreaming, but we'll see whatever happens.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys this. So they are doing these exclusive contracts, but eventually these contracts run up, because the Young Bucks contract, I think, is for like a year. I think Adam Cole's contract wasn't for too long, so he could be on the move very soon. Because I feel like that's going to affect it so much. Okay, you lock these guys to exclusive contracts for a year or two, but then, as soon as the contract's up, like I said, I feel like the next time Adam Cole's contract is up, I feel like he's going to WWE. He is bound to go there. I think he's meant for WWE. I think he really, really wants to go there. He loves Ring of Honor. and I don't doubt that. I think he wants to see that place grow, but, you know, it's wrestling, and sometimes, most of the time, I should say, you have to look out for yourself. You have to look out for what's best for you, you know, not what's best for something else. So are these exclusive contracts going to really make an impact in the long term?
Yeah. I mean, like you said earlier, we saw Michael Elgin in PWG. I mean, it's gonna affect something long term. I mean, there's gonna be guys. The only like big companies like Ring of Honor, WWE, possibly TNA. I don't know if you guys heard that supposedly TNA is working on with a big network deal that supposedly they're going to be going back on the road again in 2016. But if that is true, then look out for TNA guys getting locked up. So, I mean,
what TNA guys are left?
Well, I'm talking about guys like Madnick, TJ Perkins could get locked up, or Drew Galloway, he could get locked up. Hell, what about Mandrews? He might get locked up, you know? So, who knows? Or the Wolves, Eddie and Davey, they could get locked up. If that rumor network thing is true, if all that shit is true, then yeah, all those guys are gonna get locked up. And yeah, I don't know if it will hurt the indie business. I don't think it's gonna hurt PWG, because we all saw already if they want to lock more wrestlers, fine. We can find more wrestlers. You know, we can get someone from the overseas. We can get somebody in here. You know, United States. They can find anybody. You know, I think they just proved it. Like that. Well, you know, they're not bringing that much ROH talent, but bringing guys from CCW. They're bringing guys from the UK and Mexico. And look, PWG still alive today. So, and they're still putting some great shows out there. So, I mean, it could affect some indie promotions around the United States in the future, but hopefully not a lot, you know?
Yeah, what do you think? Because like I said, I keep pointing back to Adam Cole, but I see him as like the main example because he only works Ring of Honor and other Ring of Honor affiliated promotions like Preston City Wrestling over in Europe. But other than that, you don't see him anywhere. But when his time is up, you know he's going to go to WWE. So you lock him into this contract, and they know they're not going to be able to match WWE. So are these contracts going to be beneficial in the long run for, like, Ring of Honor?
And like you said, you kind of explained it right there. You nailed it right on the head. It's kind of a hit or miss. You know, you get the hit where, you know, you lock them down for a couple of years. You do what you need to do to benefit your brand for a couple of years. But once that couple of years runs out, man, they're going to feel like they're worth more, whatever the case may be. They may have more offers. You may have to match other offers. It's going to be hard to lock those guys down once again to a contract. So, you nailed it right on the head, man. It's a kind of a pro and con thing.
And look at your current champion, Jay Lethal. You know, he's, 30 right now, if I'm not mistaken? I mean, what if his contract runs out? I mean, there's something in his mind that one might want to say, hey, maybe I should go to WWE. There's all these rumors that WWE could be interested. What if there are in talks, but he can't go sign with them because he's under contract Ring of Honor? So what if that's something in his mind, like maybe the smaller opportunity to go to WWE? You know, you got to think about that too. And I mean, we had wrestlers on the show come in here and say, if WWE offer you a contract, you know damn well you're gonna fucking sign it. You know, guys like Willie Mack said on the show, that's gonna happen. You know, it's a WWE. You know, that's money right there for you.
Yeah, and you know, it's another funny thing is that in the case with Ring of Honor, you know, they're owned by Sinclair Broadcasting, which Sinclair Broadcasting is worth. They have a lot more money than WWE, which is saying a lot. And we're seeing them pump more money into Ring of Honor as the months and the years go by. You know, they're not just going to put in a big lump of money into Ring of Honor right away. They're not going to be like, oh, here's $30 million right here. They're kind of doing it slowly. So I think a lot of it's also going to depend on how much money Sinclair Broadcasting is willing to invest into Ring of Honor to keep it going. Do they see it as a viable product going into the future in which they can invest a good amount of money in to lock these guys up? And are they going to say, well, okay, if we give these guys big contracts, are they going to stay with us? Are they going to be loyal to us and not, want to go to WWE eventually? And are we going to be able to grow our product to where we can pay these guys to where they can stay with us full time for years to come? I think that's another big question mark.
Yeah, and the only way you could do that, you got to put Ring of Honor like out on the road more, like coming to the West Coast a lot more, or places they've never been to. I mean, 2015, this year in 2015 shows you maybe they're more capable of doing that. Like they had shows up in San Francisco. They had shows in Las Vegas, which they're going to come back in February. Well, they actually had 2 shows in Vegas, put it that way. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe 2016 they'll do other shows. From one person, I don't know if he's like a reliable source, but he's hearing that they want to do a show here in LA in 2016. I wish them luck on that, but if it happens, I'm there. No matter what date it is, I'll be there. But I don't know if that's true or not. But if that's the case, holy shit, that means if they're gonna do more tours, more guys gotta get locked up because you don't want to interfere with their tours and their indie dates, So that's something that they have to think about doing, Yeah,
it's definitely a very interesting topic, and like I said, it's definitely going to play a major role into where we see guys going over the next couple of years. So, and then like I said, you have situations like Del Rio and AAA and all these different things. So it's definitely going to be something to kind of keep a close eye on going into the future of wrestling.
See, I'm hearing of Nate on Twitter going back to the AAA thing. He's the same thing like I'm in about the whole AAA thing. It's the same thing in my mind right now. If Ray is not the guy going after Brian Cage, who else can it be? There's no one else out there on that roster that can give Cage a threat. It's got to be only Rey Mysterio because of his popularity and he's been in WWE. I don't know about guys like Phoenix. La Parka's too old. I'm sorry. They're going to be guys going after Brian Cage. I'm sorry.
Whoa. Don't say La Parka's too old because he's getting booked over here in 2016. So I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, but come on. It's the legendary La Parka. It's like saying The Undertaker is going to be wrestling Roman Reigns for the WWE title next week on Raw. Come on.
Listen,
anyway.
La Parka is the chairman, and he's always going to be the chairman. So La Parka's going to keep kicking ass.
Someone swing a chair on someone, please. All right. All right.
But moving on, I don't know if you had anything else to talk about. There's some stuff for New Japan going on, before, of course, the big Wrestle Kingdom show coming up January 4th, 2016. But before that, we have the World Tag League, and the 2 blocks have been announced. The dates for the World Tag League is going to be November 21st, going up until December 9th. I'll just name the teams really quick, but it's really interesting. Some of these teams are very interesting. In Block A, you got GBH, which is Togi Makabe and Tomoaki Honma. You have Yuji Nagata and Manabu Nakanishi. You have Chaos, consisting of Okada and Yoshihashi, and another Chaos. What's up?
Go ahead. Interesting. Go ahead. But go ahead.
You have other Chaos members teaming up in Toriyanu and Kazushi Sakuraba. You have Bad Luck Fale and Tamatonga. You have The Addiction, Christopher Daniels and Kazarian, making their New Japan World Tag debut as a team. That should be very interesting. And last team rounding out Block A, Hiroshi Tanahashi and Michael Elgin. That is really, really interesting.
And you know what? Elgin is not even signed the company anymore. That's freaking interesting.
Yeah,
and you know what? There's also rumors that he might have signed. He's denying it too. I just remember that just right now. Like I heard a rumor yesterday that he supposedly signed and he's denying it. So
yeah, I saw that, but I mean, Elgin teaming up with Tanahashi is very interesting, and to be teamed up with the top guy in New Japan, I think definitely says a lot about what Elgin did during the G1 this year, that the company is going to pair him up with the biggest babyface in the company.
yeah, definitely. I mean, let me ask you something. You've been watching New Japan for years now. With that relationship with Ring of Honor and New Japan, I mean, did you want to see guys like other tag teams in this tournament? Like, for example, Killer Elite Squad, but we know they're doing a lot of stuff in Noah. And, I mean, most of their talents you've seen before New Japan are in Noah. I mean, did you wish you'd seen those kind of tag teams? Maybe return for once in New Japan and go back to Noah? Did you rather see tag teams like that entering the block instead of Ring of Honor tag teams?
Yeah, but at the same time, you can't, you really can't bring in Noah into New Japan too much, because they're still two separate companies, and Noah has to, focus on themselves, and so does New Japan as well. Like, what we saw at Wrestle Kingdom last year, we saw Noah guys come in just for a little bit and get a spot on Wrestle Kingdom, so I think that's really all we're going to see. It would be interesting, but I'm liking the Ring of Honor New Japan relationship. It's something relatively new. In years past, we've seen, TNA and New Japan having a working relationship, and, that was okay. That was around the time when I first started getting into New Japan. And some of it worked, a lot of it really didn't. Also because, TNA, when they brought the New Japan guys over to TNA, they treated them like complete jokes. But I don't know. I like the different dynamic, but as far as Noah goes, you kind of keep them separate for most of the year, I think.
Yeah, interesting. There's some guys I miss out there in New Japan, like Taka Michinoku, even though he was more like a manager. Missing all those guys in there, it's cool. I understand, they have to find a place to work. There's no spot for them in New Japan, but there's a bigger spot for them in Noah. So, unfortunately, that's why they're there. I just thought maybe it'd be cool bringing one just for one night, like a special, like the tournament right here, the tag tournament, or like bringing guys in for the best of the Super Juniors or whatnot. But I just want to put that out there and see if anybody would be interested in seeing those guys come back. But yeah. Or Shelton Benjamin comes back. But yeah.
And then in Block B, we have, of course, the champions, Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson of the Bullet Club. We have the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions in the Kingdom, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett. We have Hiroki Goto and Katsuyori Shibata teaming up, of course. They defeated Gallows and Anderson at Wrestle Kingdom 9 earlier this year. You have Los Ingobernables, which is Tetsuya Naito and Evil, formerly known as Takaki Watanabe. You have Shinsuke Nakamura and Tomohiro Ishii teaming up. Bullet Club members AJ Styles and Yujihiro Takahashi teaming up. And Ten Koji, which is Hiroshi Tenzan, and Satoshi Kojima teaming up. It's going to be running later this month up until December, and the winners get a IWGP Heavyweight Tag title shot at Wrestle Kingdom, so that's going to determine, I don't think, I'm pretty sure the Bullet Club's still going to be champs by then, so it's going to be who's going to face the Bullet Club. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Maybe interesting. You have a favorite to win it all?
It's tough. It's tough to tell. Because you could do. You can't do Goto and Shibata again. Because they did it last year, so you really can't do it again. If I really had to pick a favorite, I'd probably pick Togi Makabe and Tomoaki Hanma. They're both not really doing anything. Hanma lost at Power Struggle to Ishii for the never openweight title. I don't think they would do a rematch at Wrestle Kingdom. So to have him do something at Wrestle Kingdom in some significance, having him and Makabe win the tag titles against the Bullet Club would be a big thing. So I would look for them to be the heavy favorites. I really can't see anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to these tag tournaments, it's hard for me to pick. I mean, you could be right about that, or you might see a repeat with Goto and Shibata win it all again.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And of course, right now Wrestle Kingdom, you got 4 matches basically locked in place. Of course, Okada against Tanahashi, main event, IWGP Heavyweight title. Nakamura, AJ Styles, IWGP Intercontinental title. That's going to be really good. Kenny Omega and Kushida for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. And, of course, in Wrestle Kingdom fashion, 4-way tag team match. You have Red Dragon, Roppongi Vice, Matt Sydal and Ricochet, and the Young Bucks going for that IWGP Junior Heavyweight tag titles. Another 4-way match. I think it's like becoming Wrestle Kingdom tradition to just throw 4 junior teams into a match with each other. It should still be good, though.
Yeah, that's going to be a great match. That's something to watch. Matt got to watch this event. Fuck it. Put it on mute. It's going to be a good show. Fuck it. You don't need commentating. It's all about in the ring what it matters, Just
they'll probably do English commentary. I don't see why they wouldn't.
Well, supposedly, I heard, according to Jim Ross, I guess someone asked him that, and he says they're not looking forward to doing it. They're not heading that direction like they did last year. Because someone asked him in a Q&A if there's any thoughts in return to Wrestle Kingdom for the next one, and he says they have nothing heard from them, and what he's hearing that they're not looking to go back that direction.
It's very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, we'll see either way. It should still be good.
Yeah. You know what? I don't know if you heard anything about Jim Ross. When Jim Ross gives sources, how much do you believe of his sources? Like, if you have a percentage, put it out there. Like, what do you think is his percentage? If you have any sources, like if you put out something out on his podcast or in a Q&A, and he said, I got this source, it's going to happen, how, reliable you think his sources are? Like, what is the percentage you want to give him?
I don't know. I mean, with people who have been in the business and, are kind of, not in WWE anymore, and, they say they have sources, Jim Ross and Taz and those type of guys. I mean, you can, a good amount of the time, you can't say that they're right, but it has something going. To be honest, I'm going to trust somebody like Dave Meltzer over Jim Ross because, Meltzer's been getting good inside sources for 20-plus years. There's people in WWE who specifically relay information straight to Dave Meltzer. So it's like I'm going to believe somebody like him over Jim Ross first.
All right, because I was listening to this podcast, and he put out there that, who he feels or who believes will make the Hall of Fame this year, because he was talking about like upping the show, and then he said there's a show, he's gonna have a show after the Hall of Fame, and then he mentioned who he like pretty much he's hearing that it's gonna be in the Hall of Fame this year, and the names he put on these names. Look, let me get it out right now. He says the headliner will be Sting, will be the headliner in the Hall of Fame. Owen Hart will get in. The Freebirds will get in. Hopefully Demolition will get in. Jackie, remember not Miss Jackie, but Jacqueline, the black chick from the Attitude Era. She's gonna get in. And I think that's the list. That's the list right there. But that's did I mention Freebirds? Because the Freebirds are going to be most likely going to be in this. So that's what he put out there. That's supposedly going to be the Hall of Fame class they're probably going to put in there. But that's a good name. I mean, if they'll have to put one tag team, fuck it, put the Freebirds over Demolition, because you know Freebirds have a lot of history in Texas. So fuck it. I mean, I want Demolition to get in, but unfortunately the Freebirds, I think if they're going to do the Texas, you got to put the Freebirds in there. I don't give a fuck. Jackie Moore, she had a solid career. I mean, when I first saw her in WCW, I thought they were going to make her like her China, or their version of China, because she was in their wrestling dudes at one point, and then they brought her in WWE, and then it showed her more of her sex appeal in there. I met her one time. She's really, really nice. But her in the Hall of Fame, I mean, I know she's from Texas, but if they're going to go that route, then I don't know. I feel like there's other names out there besides Jackie to put in there right now, you know? Obviously, that'd be too early for her. Sting headlining, fuck it. If he's not going to wrestle anymore, then fuck it. Just put Sting in there and you know, enjoy his Hall of Fame. I think he's gonna be more bigger than Hall of Fame in TNA. Owen Hart, oh hell yeah, finally. I mean, it's way overdue having Owen Hart in there. I mean, I know the whole thing with Martha and all. I mean, his wife Martha and WWE were going at it, you know, for years now, and had, you know, allowing WWE to put his name out there to make money. I think she was something against that, because, you know, I understand she's, you know, she has this hatred of WWE. They're blaming them because of his death and all that, and we all know how his death was. It was tragic, and
it's honestly like Bret Hart said it, man. She's really just bringing down Owen Hart's career at this point. Like, just let it go. Let him be in video games. Let them do the DVD like they're doing. Let them put him in the Hall of Fame. Let him just honor his career, for goddamn sakes.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it looks like now we're having a relationship. I believe WWE is working on a DVD of Owen Hart now, so that kind of shows you know what? Probably Martha finally gets it. You know, you know, at that time before he died, you know, I mean, I know Martha got this on her head, but before he died, he was planning to leave the company anyways, because, you know, he didn't like the direction where it's going at the time. And I'm sure Brett, the whole Hart family, didn't like the direction that WWE was doing with the whole, you know, the contact after the PG TV-14, whatever, you know, you could say the Attitude Era. They were not up for that. And, you know, Owen Hart was about to leave as soon as his contract runs out. And then
you got to keep in mind, too, I'm sure the Hart family was still bitter about the whole Montreal Screwjob thing as well.
Yeah, I know. But they moved on from that. So Martha, to move on with the whole accident, it was an accident. It's not like they killed him on purpose. Come on. That thing was an accident. And
what are you talking about, man? Haven't you heard the conspiracy theories that Vince McMahon cut the cable?
Nah, I never heard of that. Come on.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't.
Oh, my God. But, yeah, you know, you know, one of the more famous like inside things that I've heard around that time, because you know you just mentioned that Owen was going to leave. I heard that the whole thing with Triple H, the game gimmick, that was meant for Owen Hart. That whole thing was meant for Owen Hart, and they were really going to try, like after the whole Blue Blazer thing, they were really going to push him to the main event scene. That's just like rumors and stories. So who knows? Who knows what could have been? But
yeah, that's the first time I heard the whole game thing for Owen Hart. That's the first time I heard that. But I just know for sure that after his contract ran out, he was gonna leave anyway. Like he didn't care what his role was. They gave him the Blue Blazer gimmick back, but this time they made it like a joke. And I guess he didn't give a shit. They're like, okay, I'm just going to be here for my contract.
I was just about to say, he was a true professional. He just wanted to kind of run out his contract, unlike certain people who are unhappy with their contracts and just walk out, 6 months before their contract runs out. Not mentioning any names, a.k.a. CM Punk.
Yeah. And that time I heard he was going to, right after his death, and they mentioned his contract ran out, he said supposedly he was going to retire from wrestling, which I didn't buy that. Like, if he did run out his contract, I wouldn't have been surprised he would have been on WCW. Come on. Most of his family were there at the time, so it wouldn't shock me he ends up in WCW after that. But, yeah, fortunately, we all know what happens, and hopefully he gets in the Hall of Fame this year, and let's just hope that source is true, and I'll be happy. That's the next single guy out of everybody that won the Hall of Fame to get in. It's Owen Hart. So I hope he gets in, and I'll be sharpshooting somebody if he doesn't get in. So the first person near me is getting sharpshooter. But anyways, did you guys hear what happened in Dreamwave Wrestling this past weekend?
I did. The girlfriend of Seth Rollins and the whole curb stomp thing, I'm assuming that's where we're going here?
Yeah. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? He uses the curb stomp. I saw pictures. I was like, shit. I actually did not see that coming. I actually thought that, she was doing indie bookings just to show off, just to prove that WWE, she did fucked up and all that stuff, and maybe hopefully one day she comes back. But being the curse stuff, I feel like that's just kind of sticking it to him, like, oh, fuck you guys, I don't know how I feel. I don't know what you guys feel, but I kind of feel that way.
I think she's just trying to prove a lot of people wrong in the WWE bubble, especially, a lot of people thought she was all looks and no work. And obviously she's trying to do her best to prove that wrong. She's been training at the House of Truth school with Truth Martini, Jimmy Jacobs. So it's going to be very interesting to see what her in-ring career is going to be going forward. Are we going to see her back in the WWE? Is she going to work hard and prove to the WWE that she belongs to be there? We're going to have to see firsthand.
Yeah, because I have not seen any work for her when she was on NXT at all. I only saw, pictures of her playing Solomon Crow's sister. And then after that's when the news broke out that, the Instagram photo, and then she got released because of that. So, I just see what's going to happen. There's some people out here probably listening, oh, she's going to come back. She's Seth Rollins' girlfriend. I don't know. I don't give a fuck if they're married, you can't guarantee her coming back in the WWE.
I don't know. You got to look at all the pull that Seth Rollins has at this point, being, as they call it, the man. I get that he's injured right now, but I don't think much of that pull is going to go away when he comes back. You look at John Cena, you look at Nikki Bella, people accused her of being champion because John Cena. If he supposedly has that much pull, then, why doesn't Seth Rollins?
We'll see. And I can tell you this, when Seth Rollins comes back, he's going to be a babyface. I'll tell you that. He ain't going to be the heel like we all saw for. He's coming back as a face. So, yeah, I can disagree with me. Go ahead. I'm I'm an asshole. I'm an idiot. Whatever.
The thing is, if you're going to bring him back as a babyface, you have to air every part of rehab that he does along the way to make people
they'll
feel
that.
sympathy for him.
It'll be the same thing how Triple H, when he fucked up his quad. He was a heel at the time. He came back. He became a babyface. It's going to be the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's easily done. If like the pop, make sure that like you bring them back in the city that's not a shit crowd. Make sure it's like, you know, a crowd that's not gonna sit on their hands and give them a little pop, like when Christian returned to ECW. It's Christian. Yeah.
Oh, the commentary was the best. Oh my! It's Christian.
It wasn't even like that. Tom Grisham was like, "It's Christian." It was just like the most empathetic return I've ever seen. It's Christian. Whoop-de-doo.
I mean, we have experienced like 20,000 Chris Jericho returns, so I don't know about that.
Well, I can say this, Tom. At your city, New York City, I have a feeling at SummerSlam next year, I know it's way off, but we might see a Seth Rollins versus Triple H match. So, just putting it out there.
Maybe.
I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if that happens. Yeah, they've been kind of already pushing towards it tonight, especially with Triple H already tried to place Rollins with Roman.
Yeah. So, who knows? Like we said earlier at the beginning of the show, who knows what's going to go down the next few months. I just have question marks going on, like who's going to be the champion? How this is going to affect WrestleMania? Who's going to win the fucking Rumble? I mean, how the card's going to be? Is this Cena Undertaker match going to happen? Is this Rock match is going to happen? There's a lot of fucking question marks, you know? What's going on? So, who knows? That's we're going to be dealing with the next few weeks. We'll probably find out the Survivor Series, what's going to go down. Yeah, we have to wait and see. It's going to be very interesting. I can tell you that right now. I mean, this is how I like it. Keep us guessing. Those don't make it obvious. Like Roman Reigns and walk out champion. Because you never know. WWE could put a swerve and give it to Dean Ambrose, and he's the one that turns heel, and we all get excited because we all like Dean Ambrose, John Moxley as a heel. We all love that. You know, why not? Fuck it, make him as a fucking lunatic again, and like he was John Moxley as a heel, and then we all love to see that. You know, fuck it. This. I know we're all gonna fucking wet ourselves and get excited to see that.
I have one thing. Drop this generic lunatic fringe shit. That's the only thing I dislike about Dean Ambrose. Them shoving that goddamn nickname down our throats.
It will happen if he's the one winning the championship and he joins the Authority. That will happen. And no, he's not going to be wearing a suit and tie. I tell you that.
Or he becomes the corporate lunatic fringe.
He is crazy, Mago. He should be in an asylum, Mago. God, it's getting so old so quick. Like, do they always have to have these nicknames and these mantras for all these guys?
Like fucking Neville.
Demon King.
Like, ugh.
Demon Kane. Like, oh, come on. Really? Just call him Kane. Why Demon Kane? So, now these days, when I think about the Demon, I think about Finn Balor now. I don't think of Kane anymore.
I almost feel like that's why they call him Demon Kane.
I can't wait for some of those NXT guys to get up and get some nicknames.
That's what I was hoping. Finn Balor comes out, and then everybody will go nuts. But it didn't happen. He was just backstage because I knew he was there, but I just thought maybe he'll be there just for a dark match or something. But fortunately, he didn't put him out there. But when the day comes, wait for his WrestleMania entrance. It's going to be one of the best entrances you've ever seen in WrestleMania history. I'll tell you that right now.
I can't wait till Apollo Crews gets called up to the main roster and becomes Tony Atlas 2.0.
Oh, no. I don't think that's going to happen. No way. He's going to get pushed. Trust me. He will get pushed.
I'm totally fucking around here.
You know, Mago, he reminds me a lot of Bobby Lashley, Mago.
Oh, God.
Oh, fuck.
That's more realistic.
Do you remember, honestly, Maggle, on ECW? Oh, those were the good old days. They were Torg and Maggle.
Oh, that former United States champion, that former ECW champion, that gold that matters.
Oh, shit. Don't remember those ECW days. Oh, man.
That almost ranks up there with the TNA World title. But on that note, let's take a quick commercial break before we end off the show. How about that, fellas?
Fuck it.
Sounds good to me.
All right, we'll be right back here on the Elite Podcast Network. Stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Drew Gulak, and you are listening to Wrestling Heads Podcast.
Alrighty. That was Drew Gulak. Shout out to Drew Gulak. I can tell you this, though. I think Championship Wrestling from Hollywood doing a big show here at the 22nd. I believe Thatcher saying that the Heritage Tag Team Champ against the tag team in Championship Wrestling from Hollywood that's been undefeated. The tag team's called Cold World, so they're going to be taking on. So
Jay Cool's making his Championship Wrestling Hollywood debut?
No, the tag team's called Cold World. I'm surprised you brought that name Jay Cool. God damn it. How the hell do you know about that guy? I mean, I saw this guy came out with his fucking captain hat up, and he started freestyling like, what the fuck is this? And he brought this hot chick with him? Damn. But anyway, I'm going to probably see him this weekend at Santino's this weekend, and Jay Cool should be happy we're actually talking about him on this show. But anyways, let's just give out our plugs. Follow us at Wrestling Heads, and also on Instagram. Follow us at Wrestling Heads. There you can see old pictures of us. There's all the fucking wrestlers from WWE or the Independent, TNA, whatever. They just check out all our photos there. Also, go to our Pro Wrestling Tees and get a shirt. If you don't want to wait for us for our Wrestling Heads versus Everybody shirt, then go get it at ProWrestlingTees.com. Then you'll have one right there. Or you can check out other shirts in there. ProWrestlingTees.com/WrestlingHeads. That's where you get a shirt. And yeah, you could feel like you're going against everybody. Check out our website, Skits. I'll give Skits props. He does a lot of work on our website, and he also has bloggers out there too. So check out WrestlingHeads.com anytime. So just check it out there. If you want to check out old episodes, go to YouTube.com/WrestlingHeads. You have a lot of old episodes, like interviews with guys like the Monster Mafia, Drake Younger before he went to WWE, Celia Sparks. Yes, breathe to these, please. Ali Parker, Dan Barry. You can hear Tom Botch in that episode. Just check it out. And you can follow me at Sinister632 on Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope. I haven't Periscoped in a while, but I think I'll be doing it pretty soon. I'll be at Lucha Underground this weekend, both Saturday and Sunday. Maybe I'll be there for a total of 8 hours that whole weekend. We'll see. Let's see how it is. And I'm sure it's going to be a good show. Also, I will be at Santino's, bros. And yes, I'm going to see Matthew's favorite wrestler, Guy Cool, out there. I'm sure he's going to be wrestling there this weekend at Santino's. But, I'm going to see Douglas James against BC Killer for the submission title, which I hope Douglas James does walk out the champion. I'll be there as well. I'm not going to watch that UFC fight. I don't want to see the 30-second shit. And, go ahead, Tom.
Yep, you can follow me on Twitter at @2tweetme. That is my personal account, and my Periscope is the exact same thing, so make sure you guys are checking that out. Of course, like I say every week, Make sure you guys are checking out all the stuff on independent wrestling. Once again, big shout out to Beyond Wrestling for hosting Raw Alternative again tonight, spotlighting all the wrestlers over in Europe. We saw promotions from WXW, Progress, Fight Pro, Attack, IPW, bunch of different promotions, great matches. If you're going to pick out anything, definitely recommend Zack Sabre Jr. versus Tommaso Ciampa from Progress Wrestling, which you can view Progress on demand. That's $7.40 a month, American dollars. So, yep, big shout out to them as well. And, of course, for all you big PWG fans, PWG running their annual fall-winter sale, 5 DVDs of your choosing for only $40. I know I'm going to be probably picking up some DVDs. Still got a lot to add to the collection. So ProWrestlingGorilla.com/merch/winner, I think, is the correct link. Correct me if I am wrong, ladies and gentlemen, but make sure you're checking that out. And, yeah, that's about it. And on to you, Matt, because I know there's a lot of big things going on this weekend, especially one promotion in particular doing a big final act, I guess you could say.
Yeah, before I get to that, first I want to give a shout-out to Smash Wrestling to Lucha Toronto for hosting us this past weekend. 2 phenomenal events that we were happy to be a part of. Jack Evans and Helico Vampiro, Mark Andrews, very big thanks to those guys for, taking the time out to chat with Weekly Wrestling Podcast. Jack Evans and a Helico interview already available on youtube.com/Weekly Wrestling Podcast. You also have, like I said, those interviews with Vampiro and Mark Andrews coming later on this week. More content coming to youtube.com/Weekly Wrestling Podcast, as well as this coming Sunday, like you were talking about there, the final Act 6 Alpha One Wrestling presenting their final, I guess their final show of the season. We do not the final show of the year. We got another one going down one crazy night in December, but getting to Alpha One's final Act 6, we will be releasing the final copy of the Josh Alexander documentary we've been working on since the retirement of Josh Alexander back in July. So really excited to share that with you guys. It's been going really well, and I'm excited, like I said, to share the final product with everybody. And it's going to be shared for free. So no price having to be paid here. Just check out youtube.com/Weekly Wrestling Podcast when it's available. Like I said, Final Act 6 going down this coming Sunday night, 222 Queenston Road, Hamilton, Ontario, the final show in the Knights of Columbus Hall before we make that transition into the new venue. Again, like I said, I am super excited for Alpha One this weekend. We crowned a new Alpha Male champion after finally waiting. It's been since June, since Josh Alexander vacated that championship after defeating Brian Myers for the title, that we haven't had a champion. And it's going to come down to 4 men in a fatal 4-way elimination match main event for the Alpha Male title. It's going to be All Ego Ethan Page. It's going to be Alessandro Del Bruno. It's going to be the Hacker Scotty O'Shea. It's going to be the Alternative Ashley Six. 2 men have been champion, 2 men haven't. Who's going to walk out with the title? There's only one way to find out, and that's being there at Alpha One on Sunday night. You got Colt Cabana in the house, Cedric Alexander's in the house, Ricky Shane Page, and so much more. I cannot recommend Alpha One Wrestling more than I can right now. Final Act 6 is going to be an absolutely amazing show. We're sponsoring it. That must mean something. So come on out. We're going to be having some event T-shirts, as always, with Alpha One Wrestling. So it's always going to be a fun show with Alpha One. Come on out Sunday night at A1 Wrestling, alpha-1wrestling.com. You can check them out on Smart Mark Video if you're not able to attend the show. We'll be tweeting live results so you guys can kind of keep up with what's going on. And, yeah, that's Alpha One this weekend, man. Like I said, big thanks to Smash and Lucha Tio, Alpha One, this weekend, and then Smash the following weekend, their London debut, London Calling. Johnny Gargano returns to defend the Smash Wrestling Championship. A lot going on for us in November, man. Very busy month.
God, I can't believe it's been 5 months since Josh Alexander's retirement. It feels like it was just yesterday.
It definitely feels like it was just yesterday traveling the roads with Josh and, picking the mind of the walking weapon. But you guys are going to be able to see what everybody thinks of him firsthand. We got comments with such guys like Chris Hero, Johnny Gargano, Ethan Page, Eddie Kingston, Silesia Sparks, just to name a few. There's a lot of comments from a lot of people that know Josh Alexander very well on that tape. So it's going to be released, like I said, this coming
Have you heard anything, sorry to interrupt you, have you heard anything from him post-surgery?
Yeah, actually, I've been keeping up with Josh. He's doing very well. He's getting back in the gym as of recent days, so he's been doing very well recently. I know he's been talking about having that itch when he gets well, and that's something you're going to hear in our documentary firsthand. So hopefully he's going to be able to cope with everything going on. He's a great dude, and I wish him all the best.
Yeah, and I just want to let our listeners know, don't forget, sometime this week, we will have the interview with Ethan Page, All Eagle Ethan Page. He'll be returning to Wrestling Heads Radio. Sometime this week, you'll be on iTunes or here on Blog Talk or on YouTube. So we'll have it in there. So check it out. So just give you a heads up. It's going to be there sometime this week, maybe more towards the end of the week. So just check that out. And yeah, I'm sure it'll be a fun interview. And hopefully he has his pants on during the interview. And
just like he did this past weekend, Pro Wrestling Sheet kind of reported that local show here in Burlington. He had a match with Scotty O'Shea. Check it out on Pro Wrestling Sheet at Wrestling Sheet. Ryan Satan has some good things going down there, so definitely recommend checking that out. And some Elite Podcast Network plugs quick. Indie Power Rankings revealed tomorrow. Tag Team Top 5 reveal Wednesday. Let's Talk by the Cooler on Thursday. Then you got you guys and Uncle Mike and Tom show doing those pre-recorded shows throughout the week. Eyes on the Ring on Sunday, and all the way back to the normal schedule next Monday. So support the Elite Podcast Network directly at Elite Podcast Net, at Wrestling Heads, at Weekly W Podcast. Support everybody on the network.
Yes, and before we end the show, I just want to say, don't be a hater. And support Mex America, motherfuckers. And until then, to the next show, I'm hopefully Tom and Matthew Grant wears a Mex America shirt. We're out. Peace out.
Wait, whoa. They have Mex America shirts?
They will have some. Don't worry. You're going to be wearing one, and Tom's going to be wearing one. So don't worry about that. And hopefully Tom wears it with an El Generico mask on. Huh?
We the people?
Yes, we're the people, and Tom will wear an El Generico mask with that shirt on. So yeah, Mex America, all the way. Peace out.